step into my office,
Certainly.
please? Come here. Jesus, Louise.
Oh, Bud, come on. Something really important is happening here.
I'm trying to keep the situation under control. I can't allow you to create this kind of hysteria.
Who's hysterical? Nobody's hysterical.
All I'm saying is when you're hanging on by your fingernails, you don't go waving your arms around.
Look, I saw something. I'm not going to go in there and say I didn't see it when I did. I'm sorry. Please.
You are the most stubborn woman I ever knew.
Yes, I am. But I need you to believe me right now. Now, come on, look at me. Come on. Am I stressed out? Do I have any symptoms of pressure sickness, tremors, slurred speech?
No.
No. But this is me, Lindsay, okay? You know me better than anybody in the world. Now watch my lips. I saw these things. I touched one of them, and it wasn't some clunky steel can like we would build. It glided. It was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Oh, God, I wish you'd been there. It was a machine. It was a machine, but it was alive. It was like a dance of light. Please, you have to trust me. Now, I don't think they mean us any harm. I don't know how I know that. It's just a feeling.
Jeez. I'm supposed to go on a feeling? How can I go on a feeling? You think coffee's gonna go on a feeling?
Well, we all see what we want to see. Coffee looks and he sees Russians. He sees hate and fear. You have to look with better eyes than that.
Hello and welcome to Still Watching the Skies for July 2025. I'm Robert Reinecke.
I'm Natal Morel.
I'm Cody Lang.
Every month we explore the lesser discussed science fiction movies of the past. Some famous, some obscure, some good, some bad, all which we believe will create interesting conversations. That brings us to this month's film, 1989's The Abyss by James Cameron. Nat picked this month's film, so he's going to give our listeners a short synopsis and some key facts, and then we will kick off our discussion. So take it away, Nat.
All right. I'm breathing through the liquid in the... So, The Abyss, 1989, directed by none other than Mr. James L. Cameron, written by James Cameron, produced by Gail Ann Hurd, and starring the masterful Ed Harris, the mirthful Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio, and the mysterious Michael Bain, along with some guest appearances, notably by Chris Elliott, edited by Conrad Buff IV, Joel Goodman, and Howard E. Smith, music by Alan Silvestri, and released by 20th Century Fox. The Abyss, and I'm just going to wing it for the summary, but basically there is some strange goings on at a drilling platform in the ocean. There's what looks to be some aliens. There's some Russians involved and nuclear warheads. The military comes in and tries to screw everything up. And then the head of the drilling platform is Virgil Bud Brigman, played by Mr. Ed Harris. And he's trying to sort everything out. But Miss Mary Elizabeth, who's his ex-wife, is the one who designed it. And she also insists on being a part of the recovery team. And sparks fly underwater. So you got commies, you got your aliens, you got your deep sea mischief, and you got a love story, all in James Cameron's riveting The Abyss. Anything I missed?
Well, reportedly it's one of the most difficult shoots ever. People almost drowned on it and maybe came to blows.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of they filmed the thing in a abandoned nuclear reactor, or a never completed nuclear reactor. It wasn't radioactive, so they flooded the thing, so it was actually made underwater. So probably more realistic than one would assume.
Yeah, and actually, forget if I mentioned the release date, but this is 1989, and I remember this was one of those movies where I think around the time and even for like years after, this was something people would point to as groundbreaking in a lot of special effects. One in particular is
Mm, yeah.
basically like the aliens kind of traveling through the ship and mimicking human faces, and the I think it's Ed Harris or Mary Elizabeth touching it and it reacting. But I remember that being kind of like the seminal shot of the movie, or at least the one that was constantly playing whenever it was referenced. But I remember seeing this movie like on television, or at least clips of this movie on television, a lot more than I remember it ever being available to watch in its entirety on television, or hearing it out of context of like the special effects of the film, at least growing up.
hmm Yeah, it had a big special edition made after the fact by James Cameron.
Hmm.
Um, Basically adding 30 minutes back in and completing special effects on it. So one could even say it's kind of like the uh, predecessor of the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League.
I think too, like probably Close Encounters of the Third Kind,
Yep.
and some of the cuts that that's had probably also. I think is that maybe a little bit later or around the same time as like the director's cut of this.
The director's cut of this was like a couple years later, like 92, 93, after Terminator 2 hit, and James Cameron had all the money in the world.
Yeah, yeah. This is probably also should note that yeah, this is between kind of Aliens. I think Terminator was a success, and that's 84, so that's 5 years prior to this. But I feel like Aliens is the one where he really kind of enters the household name or becomes like the James Cameron we know and love. And
Yep.
then this is I don't know, we can talk about sort of what the reception was at the time of this. But
I know that Batman and Lethal Weapon 2 made all the money that summer.
yeah, this was a
Yeah.
big summer. You also had Indiana Jones this same summer.
Yep.
Um, and but then yeah, like you said, he comes back in 91 with Terminator 2 Judgment Day, and that really kind of solidifies his status as the big money maker. And then 6 years later he's doing Titanic, and then 12 years after that Avatar, and so he's kind of the box office king.
Don't bet against James Cameron.
No, not at all. But kind of on that note, I think we provided a decent amount of context. So how about if I toss it over to you, Robert, since you, I think, are the one of us who actually saw it in theaters.
Yeah, I remember seeing it in theaters, and it's like, I would say that the first, I don't remember what was cut, but but basically the first 2 hours, I think it was like one of the best theater experiences I had because the actual working submarines they had and the diving they had, and it was a remarkable technical feat beginning, and I liked the relationship between Bud and Lindsay for the most part. I mean, I think it plays a little bit into the tropes of exes, but it's good. Um, and then kind of like the last half hour, I think everything after Lindsay's resuscitation, I feel like they don't really kind of work together with what the movie had been leading to up to that. When they have to get involved with NTIs, the non-terrestrial intelligences, and resolve that plot, and I don't think it quite worked. And it really doesn't work in the theatrical edition where they kind of have to rush through everything. It works more in context. As I recall, they cut out all kind of the Cold War shenanigans that were going on up top, and the tensions there. It was just more of a we're exploring the deep, and we're down here in prison with a bunch of military assholes. And I think it doesn't do justice to either of those plot lines, but it was a technical feat at the time, and I was very happy to see it in the theaters. But it was a flawed movie, and I feel that the theatrical cut, which I believe addresses most of those flaws, makes it a better, more complete movie. But it doesn't fix everything because I feel like there's one standout climax, basically the resuscitation of Lindsay after she drowns. That is uh, as good as you could ask for the storytelling. But everything after that kind of feels like an anticlimax, and that's kind of my uh, opinion on the film um, going forward, no matter which version you watch. But if I have a choice, I will watch the theatrical or the special edition extended cut. How about you, Cody?
Okay, I'm glad you're talking about the different cuts. So I've seen this before, but I think I've been mistaking the cuts. I think I've only seen the theatrical, thinking I've seen the special edition. Um, so I watched it this time on Disney Plus, which is 2 hour and 20 minutes, and the special edition has 2 hours and 50 minutes. And I think I've always been under the impression that I've been watching the special edition, and um, I don't think the theatrical is that bad, I guess, but maybe I haven't seen the special edition. So, because I've always heard that theatrical, from what people have said, is that that it has a confusing ending, and um, I guess that's the only version I've seen. I've never been confused by it. Um, but I do think it's okay. So I'll just speak to the theatrical, and maybe you guys like. I'm not sure which version you watched at, but um, or if you've seen both. But I'll
For
just
what
speak
it's
to.
worth, if you buy the special edition digitally, you get both versions.
Yeah, no, yeah. Well, that's cool. So I'll just speak to the theatrical. I, and then if there's things that are addressed in the special edition, just let me know. But I would say it to me it feels like a really I like I so I like the movie, but it does feel kind of messy. Um, like
Messy is a
I
good word.
I think he is really strong in this movie at telling the the sort of drama of the remarriage, or like this, like they're like it's really about a divorced couple getting back together and falling back in love.
Hmm.
And I think that part of the story is awesome, and he does a really good job at telling it. Um, and then the NTI alien slash, I guess you could say, Cold War um, commentary, I don't feel is that. I feel like it's kind of shoehorned in, and I know that um, originally he had written this story so that it was a group of scientists, and and it was about like them exploring the ocean or whatever, and they discover some aliens. And then I think so, and then later on he decided, because the script he had written a long time ago, or like the idea was from a long time ago, and he had said, "Oh, I don't think people want to watch a movie about scientists, so I'll make him like working class dudes, probably like probably
Hmm.
copying Alien a bit, and then he must have put in that love story there. I do think it's interesting that he during the filming his producer was his wife, and then by the end of it they were divorced, and he had a really difficult shoot. Um, the lead actress was like, there's reports of her yelling at James Cameron saying we're not animals, and there's reports of like when they were doing the scenes, like the resuscitation scene, that to save on time, like James Cameron told the actors to go pee in their wetsuits instead of like getting changed and stuff to go to the bathroom. Um, so yeah, I'm assuming it was probably a tense thing with him and his wife, who was the producer. I do recall reading that they went over budget as well too.
Which
Um,
is no surprise.
yeah, I do. I remember reading about like there's like a bunch of like storms and stuff that kind of messed up their things. Like it's not really his fault. Like if
No.
if like your sets and stuff get destroyed, but
If you're
whatever.
spending tens of millions of dollars, you're going to be under a lot of pressure if
Yeah,
things go
and
wrong.
and I think that just the story of just this this couple is great, and the other elements are just okay. Like I like the way the NTIs look. But to me, this seems to be like the most film of his that's like most influenced by Spielberg or
Yeah, or Kubrick.
especially like First Encounters of the Third Kind or whatever that movie's called.
Close Encounters, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. First Kind? I don't know.
There's also a little bit of 2001 in here at the end.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I do like the movie, but it does feel kind of uneven compared to his other ones. But I could like I've never seen it in the theater, but you could really tell like man, this would work well in a theater. Like especially like the way that he makes you get in the mind or like in the headspace of someone who's submerged. Like I would hate, like I'm very claustrophobic. I would hate to be in a submarine. I would hate to be. I was in one as a kid. I remember once for like a field trip or something. Like I would hate to be in these guys' position. Like I would just drive. It would drive me nuts. Like I would be like Michael Bean or something, but like right away. So yeah, I do like the movie, but yeah, please tell me like if things I say during our review here, like if they're addressed in the special edition, because I guess I was always under the impression I was watching the theatrical all this time, so which I don't think is that bad. I think
No, I think
works.
it's good. I just think
Yeah.
special edition is better.
Yeah, I think it works fine. Like to be honest, like the other special editions of James Cameron, I don't usually watch them either. Like I like the I like the
Aliens.
theatrical of Aliens. So
Yeah,
you know,
I'm there. I would have cut everything on the colony beforehand, and
yeah, and I'm not
just
saying like I
discover it
don't
when
like the
everybody else
special edition,
discovers.
but I do
Yeah.
think his theatricals are good. So I
Yeah.
just watch those. Yeah,
I mean, the sentry guns are cool, but I could live without them.
yeah, they are pretty cool. Nat, I'm assuming this is not the first time you watched it.
This is actually the first time I've watched
Oh,
it.
okay. Oh,
So
nice.
that's
Okay.
one of the reasons I chose it is I did want to finally sit down
Okay,
and
so
see
how
it.
did you watch it? How did you did you watch the Disney Plus or did you buy it or
I haven't even answered yet, and you're already getting bored of it. But no, it was Disney Plus as well. I was also under the impression that I was watching the theatrical, or that I was watching the
Aha, it's not just
director's
me.
cut. No, and actually, I think a lot of the comments that you had, I pretty much share. And it does feel like there's a lot of things kind of being thrown around and in the movie, and I don't feel they're kept as well organized or elaborated on as I think Cameron's able to do in something like Aliens or even Terminator 2. And that's what makes me wonder about the director's cut, because I feel like cutting the Russians or potentially even like cutting the aliens or NTIs would make it a little smaller and more grounded story by focusing more on the relationship between Harrison and Mary Elizabeth. And I'm just not even going to try to pronounce her last name for the duration of this. But no, I like the relationship, and I think James Cameron always likes to have something that is very human and grounded, especially relationship wise between like two people in his movies, like with Aliens, the whole thing between Ripley and Newt, and with kind of John Connor looking for a father figure in the Terminator and Terminator, and I think he does that really, really well, and that's one of the reasons why I think he's able to deliver hit after hit. But I'm surprised he doesn't do it as much in this, which I've always thought of as being like even more of a personal story than a special effects bonanza. But again,
Mhm.
that said, I really do like this movie too. I don't know if I would rewatch the theatrical cut again. Um, and I do feel that basically Michael Bain and his whole approach on everything and just screwing everything up does feel pretty forced and more just there to add some plot complications. but I do just want to ask kind of more to your experience, Robert, like how is it, I guess how does blowing up some of those things that are on the sidelines of this movie and potentially getting away from that relationship aspect or that more human aspect kind of make the movie better in the director's cut?
Well, I mean, I feel like basically the stuff they cut, there's like a whole nuclear war is bad. We got the aliens are going to step aside and talk us back from the brink, or just kind of threaten us to the brink.
Hmm.
That's you can kind of remove that fairly seamlessly, but they feel like there's another like 10 minutes there where Ed Harris's character goes into um, the alien city, communicates with them, and they show them what's going on in the world, and saying we're going to step in here and stop the nuclear war from happening. Um, that's the main gist that's cut. I mean, there's some other stuff that's cut. Some of the characters that were involved in the rig that we don't really get to know get a little bit more fleshed out in there. I think there's a joke. I don't know if it's in the theatrical or not, where he fishes out his ring out of the toilet, and they one of his coworkers comments, "Yeah, your hand is blue, right?"
Hmm.
As a
Oh,
joke.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean,
got
I
it.
feel that that's it. Mostly it's the nuclear war fears that I think aren't exactly subtle in T2, but they feel a place in T2, while they kind of feel like that feels like it's from a different movie here. Because this feels a very personal film, because I mean it is underwater. We know James Cameron likes underwater exploration. I mean it is the relationship between a husband and ex-wife, and we know that James Cameron has had a series of difficult relationships with the women in his life. So that all feels.
He must be just hard to be around. Like he's been divorced like how many times?
Let's see.
Like three?
Gail Ann Hurd, Catherine Bigelow, Linda Hamilton.
Hmm.
Oh God.
I mean, to be fair, like he does make a ton of money from his film, so at least financially, he's making it like he's incentivizing people to divorce him. But
And true, yeah.
but I have heard that yeah, he's generally regarded as I think one of the most tempestuous directors out
Hmm.
there, which is saying a
No, like
lot.
yeah, like I've heard that on set. Like I was watching the special features of the guy talking about, like he's the guy basically like the guy from ILM talking about like how much James Cameron would yell at him and stuff. And he didn't seem to mind, but like I guess he's like that with his wives too.
I can see that, man. I can see that too. I mean, even in The Abyss and other films, he likes to use the bitch word.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Uh,
actually was going to be a question I had for all of us. Like, have we ever used the term bitch as a term of endearment?
I have not.
I have
No.
not.
I have not.
Um,
So, I mean, it's better than some words, but yeah.
yeah, like I think the movie is pretty like interesting. Like it has this sort of like the crew at the beginning I don't really like, but I kind of grow to really like them.
Hmm.
Um,
They feel like working class Joes that would get along.
yeah, except for the like guy with the rat. Like
I
he
hate the
seems
guy
like
with the
kind
Yeah.
of
rat.
yeah, he seems like a movie character, but I kind of don't mind him later on. Like I grow to like him,
Yeah.
but
Hmm.
yeah, just there's a lot of tense scenes, like and like maybe I'm reacting that way because I just hate the idea of being underwater in a sub, but like I find this movie like I don't know, it's not like it's enjoyable, like it's good, but like I'm like kind of freaked out as I'm watching it, like even more so than what's the
Yeah.
one we watched that Nat picked a
Leviathan?
while back? No, not Leviathan. That movie's not scary. Um, that one I can handle because it's so shoddy. But what's the one with Dustin Hoffman and
Sphere.
Sphere.
yeah, Sphere? Like that one, I thought had some good underwater scenes that freaked me out too.
Yeah. And
Um,
I feel like the cable coming down with the crane is a good scene. They kind of go, oh, this is gonna be bad, isn't it?
yeah, but is there even any movie close to this where it was filmed this much underwater? Like I don't think so.
Well, I mean, other than like some of the Jacques Cousteau documentaries, probably not.
I don't refer to those. No, I mean like like
Yeah.
Hollywood films.
I
No,
mean,
like
does would parts of Titanic count?
well
Yes.
after yes, but like up until this point, like
Yeah.
in like film history, like I think this was like maybe people don't care about it, but like this was like a really really the only movie that was kind of like this. Maybe what year was Das Boot?
81.
Oh, so that
Yeah,
was
but
much
I
earlier.
don't feel that
Okay.
was actually underwater though. I mean, I know
No,
they had a submarine on a gimbal, but that wasn't really actually underwater.
right. Right, but like
But
in this film, the whole film is just set like,
yeah.
underwater. Like
Hmm.
it's I don't know, it's kind of unique that way,
Well,
for
and
sure.
even for
Yeah.
films that take place underwater or take place in submarines or things like that,
Like 20,000 Leagues.
yeah,
Oh yeah, that's
it's
true.
they aren't
Yeah.
going too much out of their way to deal with things like what is the pressure effect of on a human body? How deep can we actually go?
Yeah.
And talking about things like nitrogen narcosis or
Hmm.
just like slow ascent things kind of like that. And
Yeah.
I think now they kind of do. I know,
I mean, decompression is brought up in Jaws too, for that
yeah.
matter.
Yeah, and
Um,
I just rewatched Sphere. That obviously is a pretty big part of Sphere as well, and even the one that came out with Kristen Stewart a couple of years ago,
Underwater.
Oh, my
Underwater. I was
wife
going to
likes that
say
movie a
I
lot.
like
Yeah.
that movie too. Um, yeah, but I can't think of that many other films that kind of go into that same level of detail, or even I mean we've mentioned it, but also I feel like the liquid breathing
Yeah.
technique.
Was that an actual tech or is
I
that
think
some sort
that
of stuff that's
actually is a thing, but I don't think it was as much of a thing at the time of this movie.
I read that it was only tested on animals successfully, and that in the film with the rat, that was really happening,
Yes,
and
I think
the rat did survive,
yes.
so that's good.
I don't think it's like as popular for or intended for human
Yeah, I
consumption.
don't think it's going on. I'm for sure would never do it.
I
Mhm.
would never do it either.
But it is a cool thing where like it's a big part of the movie, but it's also not, it doesn't feel gimmicky, even though I don't know, it's not like a major plot point hinges on it in the sense that like yeah, he has to do this to be able to go to this particular depth.
Yeah, but he
But
really
it's
has
also
no choice at that point either.
yeah, but it's also something where okay, but you're still doing this because you're the one sort of making it a thing, if that makes sense. If they
Hmm.
were to have like, oh, we have special oxygen that you can wear with the scuba tank and go under
Hmm.
here and just make it look like it would for any other scuba diving, um, or any other scuba dive, like they could totally get away with that. But instead they want to do the liquid breathing, and it's cool, and I don't think they call too much attention to it. And to be fair, that's the only reason the dude has the rat. Um,
To be fair, yes,
but I like it.
but
But
it
I
is
also,
actually cool.
yeah,
Let's give it points for being actually cool.
no, I mean, I think the one thing is it can be distracting because I'm just trying to figure out, okay, this is 89, this isn't CGI. I'm curious as to how they did this because you can see that Ed Harris is
Hmm.
ostensibly engulfed in some sort of liquid,
Yes,
and he
So what I
also
assumed
almost
was
drowned.
like,
which
yeah,
is
like what
probably one of the reasons why that Ed Harris wanted to punch out James Cameron.
Hmm.
yeah, but I see what I assumed was when he was doing that because I read that he did not do the liquid breathing thing, and I assumed it was just like a layer of glass inside his mask that had like water inside of it or something that was like kind of going up, but like the mask itself wasn't. filling up, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But it looks like it's like parts of it are touching his face because his hair and just like parts of his face are reacting to sort of the contours
Yeah, maybe he just held his
of
breath
it.
for a good long period of time there.
Hmm.
Oh, really? Oh.
At least until it filled up, and then maybe they did something. They did a cut, and then they put one so that it's not actually touching his face. But yeah,
Yeah, I thought Ed Harris for me was the best part of the movie. I think he like I'm not sure what was the Oscars that year, but if he didn't win the Oscar, that's too bad. I'm not even sure if he was
he
nominated,
didn't win
but
the Oscar.
he was really good.
Ed
Yeah.
Harris is good in everything,
No,
and
but he was really good in this, I thought. Like, yes, I agree he's good in everything, but um like he was so believable. Like he just had like the scene when he's trying to resuscitate her, I think was amazing. Like
Mhm.
Hmm.
um yeah, like he was
I
just
mean, I think
great.
that's the high point of the movie, and I think it's like 90% from his performance
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
because she's supposed to be non-reactive,
Hmm.
and I don't think. I mean, all the supporting characters are fine, but there's nobody really memorable in there. There's no Bill Paxton in that scene.
Yeah. I was thinking about Bill Paxton in this movie too. Like
He would have been fine
why
as the
didn't he
lead.
just why didn't he just get Bill Paxton?
Well,
Maybe Bill
and
Paxton said no.
that's a funny thing too with like Cameron's protagonist. Like we associate him a lot with Arnold Schwarzenegger and some Arnold Schwarzenegger's like best movies, and obviously he's in the Terminator movies. He's kind of the
He's
main guy
in
in
True
Terminator
Lives.
2. He's in True
True
Lies.
Lies.
But I feel a lot of like the really strong James Cameron characters aren't really like muscle-bound maniacs. And even when he's making a lot of these action movies in the 80s, like Michael Biehn and Linda Hamilton are kind of like the main characters of the original Terminator, and then you have Sigourney Weaver in there for Aliens, and Ed
And
Harris, like
Michael Biehn is good
yeah,
in Aliens too. Like
Hmm.
yeah,
he's awesome. And Lance Henriksen's good too.
yeah, and even
And Bill
like
Paxton is good. And Jeanette was Goldstein.
yep,
Yeah.
yeah, but I mean they're not people who are as muscle bound as like Stallone or Schwarzenegger or
Well, they
even
stand out in the 80s where, yeah, the sort of,
yeah,
what was it called? Like the Reagan action film era where everyone is like roided up and stuff.
yeah, but I mean I think he goes out of his way to choose people who also like don't look like gods, and
I think he's going after people who can act. I think that's his
yeah,
I think that's his main criteria because ultimately like he is not like he's making movies that are like from so-called B movie genres, but he is
yeah,
kind of like Spielberg in that he's trying to make them like he's trying to like elevate them in some way, and like they are. Yeah, like if you compare this to like Leviathan or something, like there's no comparison.
No, the acting is a lot
And
better.
I'm not saying that I'm not saying I don't like Leviathan. I do like it. It's just not.
hmm.
Yeah, well, we can really drag the bottom of the barrel there and talk about Lords of the
Yeah,
Deep and
but
Deep
like
Star Six.
yeah, but like
Which I think all are the same year, right around the same
Yeah,
year
all are
too.
1989.
yeah, I think they all realize like we're someone's making a sub movie. We all got to make some sub movies and
Hmm.
release them. Yeah, and then
And
they all do
then
bad.
Hunt for the Red
Um,
October, I think, comes out the next year. But
That's a
yeah, but
good
like
one.
but like to me like James Cameron is like the most like successful like guy who's influenced by Spielberg and George Lucas. Like, but
Hmm.
not being a total ripoff either. Like, I do think,
No, he's his own
um,
guy.
yeah, but he's really good at taking like, popular genres and making them, have good emotional beats to them.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that, to your point, I think that's where it really is aided by him choosing people who are really good dramatic actors. And it's kind of like if there's a stretch, it's more like that they can handle the physical aspect of the role as opposed to like the emotional or
Yeah,
dramatic
which
part of
for
it.
this sounded borderline like abusive to me based off of what I was
Yeah.
reading. Like, it sounded brutal. Um,
Physically and emotionally and just uncomfortably. I mean,
Mhm.
yeah.
everybody was wet and cold all the time.
Well, and
And
what I was
that
also
alone.
reading, which kind of makes a lot of sense because of the conditions, but it's just like the pace at which they would shoot scenes was so slow. So like they would never like I think someone was saying they would never get one scene done in a day. And just like the so like imagine if like you're working as an actor like in like oh the scene where they're talking about something in the blah 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 is not done yet. Oh, it's like 5 days later, still not done yet. Like I think some actor was saying like he was in South Carolina or wherever they filmed it for like 5 months, and I think he was only acting for like a short amount of time or something. Like that kind of would really grate on people. I feel like, whereas like other films can be shot in 3 weeks or whatever.
Yeah, especially if you're an in-demand actor like Ed Harris and Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio.
Is that how you say her name?
I think Mastrantonio, I believe it is.
Oh, okay. She's Italian. Sorry, my dog is
Also
having
Italian.
having a spaz attack.
And I will say she's good too, although I feel that it kind of exposes some of James Cameron's weaknesses as writing women because she's very smart, but she's also very, very emotional. More emotional than anybody on there, even though she's probably the smartest person in the crew.
Yeah, I didn't mind her. Like I thought she was a
Yeah.
pretty cool character actually. But,
To be fair, Ed Harris is also very emotional in this.
and the
Yeah.
rat guy is too.
And the rat guy, yeah.
And Michael Biehn is really emotional.
Yes, overly emotional.
He really wants to nuke the bottom of the ocean or whatever his plan
Yeah.
is.
Which again, that does bug me, and just it feels like it's watered down from something like Aliens, where I think there's a way more interesting twist and a way better way that he handles that. Here it just kind of seems like, oh, he's down here, he's going crazy, he's from the military, he just wants to nuke everything. Just
Yeah, I kind of feel that um, he becomes he becomes less interesting because of the explanation of the pressure that's doing it to him, rather than he's doing it himself and he's actually sane.
Yeah, because it almost has like a Sunshine vibe, like where like, oh, we need to explain this bad guy and he's crazy or something, right? Like it's,
Yeah.
and I kind of buy the explanation. Like they do, like they do foreshadow it technically.
Yes,
Like
they do.
and I think there's a line where Michael Biehn even says like, it's really unlikely that this is going to happen or something or whatever, right? Like he says something like that, and then it happens to him.
Yeah, and none of his crew says anything.
Yeah. So in the special edition, is that subplot? I guess it's a plot. I guess it's the main plot, but like, is that plot point like fleshed out more? So it's more
Not
like you
really.
can kind of. Oh, really? Okay, interesting. So okay, so then here's my question: like, what is the main thing that the special edition just improves?
It mainly gives the aliens something to do, other than like
Okay, so
show
instead of
up
just
and then kind of show up at the end.
right, okay. So like, are they showing up earlier in the film?
Not necessarily. They're still kind of mysterious, but they have much more going on with Ed Harris at the end.
Like where they kind of talk about stuff, you're saying?
Yeah,
Okay, gotcha.
I mean it's like James Cameron took every idea he ever had and shoved it into the movie, and most of it works, and most of it works well. But I feel that it's kind of like it is a little overstuffed with ideas. Kind of like the NTIs and the Cold War stuff. I mean, the Cold War stuff showed up in T2 not too long after.
It
Or,
did?
or at least the nuclear Armageddon fears.
Right, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and the marriage falling apart and being rekindled kind of shows up in True Lies, and this underwater stuff shows up in Titanic and elsewhere, and his documentaries and even the Avatar films. At least the last one has a lot of bunch of underwater stuff. I
Yeah,
feel
it
that's
does, for sure, yeah.
yeah. So I mean, I feel like most of that, has shown up again, and the military being the bad guys is certainly shows up in Aliens and
Avatar.
Avatar, yeah.
Mhm.
So, I mean, it's all there. And I mean, it is kind of a Rosetta Stone for most of James Cameron's interests. If you watch this, you go, oh, yeah, he's interested in that. I know that.
Yeah, I
Certainly,
think
and certainly he's interested in pushing the craft forward because the CGI effects are groundbreaking. It's not uh, too much to say groundbreaking. They really changed the way films were made within the half a decade.
So okay, so the guy that was working on the special effects, like so like the NTIs, like they were like a physical thing though, made like they were practical.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they were practical. They were designed by Jean Gerard Mobius, or Jean Gerard, also known as Mobius, who worked on Alien, among other
Hmm.
things. Jodorowsky's Dune, Heavy Metal Magazine.
Yeah, like the way they described it in the special features, it seems like you would be seeing them more, but they really aren't too in the film too much. Um,
Yeah,
so like
not in the theatrical. I mean, they're barely there in the theatrical. They're there a little bit more in the
yeah,
special
so like do you
edition, but
see
it's
like
a
they're like different articulating joints and fingers and stuff more in the
yeah.
right,
You
okay,
see
yeah.
more of them in the special edition.
Huh, interesting. Okay.
Hmm.
Didn't The Abyss win the special effects award at the Oscars?
I would assume, but I don't know. Like I don't know really like, Oscars past like the 2000s, like what was winning and stuff.
Well, it should have won if it didn't.
I want to check that now because I feel like it did for something. Okay,
So
at the
is
Academy Awards,
is
it won for Best Visual
visual
Effects,
effects, yeah.
and then it was nominated for Best Art, Best Cinematography, and Best Sound. And I can believe the sound too, just all the water dripping, especially when Ed Harris goes to meet the NTIs and takes his
Mm.
dive helmet off, and just the water dripping off him, or he's vomiting it up, and just that.
Yeah,
Also the sound when the
it won for
guy
best visual effects. It didn't win art direction. That was won by Batman by Anton Furst.
hmm.
Cinematography, it was nominated for and didn't win, and sound, it was nominated for and didn't win.
Mhm.
Yeah, the sound I thought was good when the guy, like the bigger guy was having like kind of like an anxiety attack in the
Yeah.
in like one of the first scenes where they're going under and he's got to hold the rope and tug it. Like I thought
Mhm.
his yeah, like that sort of, sound and camera setups were really doing a good job there, putting you in the headspace. So in this, like how much is like CGI being used, you think? Like I thought it was more like
I think just the water technical scene and probably
Yeah.
some of the
okay.
there's a scene of suspended tidal waves, tsunamis over the coastlines. I'm sure that's CGI,
Which
but
is in the special edition.
which is in a special edition.
Right.
Um, see what else was in '89. Glory won the Oscar for cinematography in 1989. That was good. I understand that. I probably would have voted for Do the Right Thing. We're going to redo it. That would have been a good nominee as well. And what else was nominated in '89? It said sound. Wonder what was nominated for sound.
Let's see. I'm just pulling that up right now. I know Driving Miss Daisy won
Glory was
Best
nominated for
Picture.
one for sound too.
Oh, okay. And then Black
Really?
Rain, Born on the Fourth of July, and Last
Black
Crusade.
Black Rain.
Lots of rainfall in that one.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
we may need to watch this at some point. But see, I had another question I wanted to ask, but I've since forgotten that what
Well,
that is.
I kind of want to. I mean, I kind of think Mary Elizabeth Italian name is good in it, but I feel like that the writing sometimes lets her down on it. What do you think of her?
I like their chemistry. I think they actually do kind of work pretty decently with each other. Maybe this is just kind of like how they talk to each other and um, kind of like sniping at each other. But I mean, they're way more
Hmm.
kind of like acerbic than they are like outwardly affectionate to each other.
Hmm.
But it's also that affection kind of manifests itself in either screaming or extreme circumstances of like I'm gonna die, I love you. Okay. But like crying hysterically.
Yeah, I
So I
mean, she does.
wonder,
I do like when she basically talks him through his descent.
mhm. Which I feel maybe that is kind of like James Cameron's type of a relationship.
She's being supportive, and he doesn't say much of anything.
He does, but I think just it's two very passionate like stubborn individuals
Yeah.
and somehow just like by constantly clashing against each other, they sort of smooth out their edges, but maybe not really. Like, do you think their relationship actually lasts after they get back together at the end of this movie?
No, I don't. I
I
don't see
don't
how it
either.
can, but I think they're very
I
passionate.
think it lasts.
Well, it may last, but I bet it's rocky.
Hmm.
Even at the best of the time, they're gonna fight.
Hmm. I also, it's one of those movies where I feel like there are so many other things going on with it that like what the hell happens over the next week or so? Like, okay, we've just discovered that aliens exist and they've announced themselves to us. They don't even really kind of touch on that. It's like everyone's just celebrating that they're back at the surface, except for that one guy whose picture I sent you to in the chat, who clearly
Hmm.
is traumatized by the aliens lifting everyone up. But then also with the Russians and the Cold War and everything else going on, like how is this going to impact global relations if the aliens are now potentially siding with the US? And
Well, they basically threatened to wipe out everybody in the special edition.
well, we didn't watch the special edition, Robert, so
I just tell you how the what the backstory is.
yeah, well, maybe the Russians just claim that this is American alien propaganda and then just decide we're gonna
Maybe they
nuke
do,
the hell out of you.
but they do have the tidal waves above the uh, Soviet seaport in one of the shots.
Hmm. Maybe it's just a threat. But I do like that idea of aliens living in the deep,
Hmm.
like being below as opposed to above, which is
Yeah,
a
why would we notice them?
and just developing um, like I don't know if the implication is that they evolve their bodies to be able to swim in very deep depths, or if they're just able to do that naturally. But I just think that is a cool idea because it's sort of like out of place. But also water has a lot of the similar, well, has a lot of visually similar properties to space. So you can float through it, you can kind of ignore gravity, and have lots of booming lights suspended in certain areas. But no, it's a nice touch.
I'm trying to think if I have anything more to add. I don't know. I mean, there's certainly, I think it's a technical marvel, and I
Mhm.
like the relationship, but it's certainly a messy film.
Oh yeah. And I will say I think there are some really just compelling visual moments. We already talked about like the tentacle and touching it,
Hmm.
tickling the tentacles. I think just Ed Harris in his liquid breather being guided down to the NTI's
Hmm.
location. The guy is
I,
clearly traumatized by the aliens. But I was going to say
and
one
I
of
would
the.
say even the exploring the nuclear submarine is certainly a
Mhm.
compelling visual, and I note that the latest Mission Impossible movie kind of touched on that too,
Oh
and
yeah.
I don't think they did it, but it's there.
Yeah, but I was gonna say I do love um the whole thing about him dropping the wedding ring into the
Yes.
toilet. That is such a great idea.
Is it
And
in the theatrical cut where the
yes, it
ring
is.
prevents the door from closing on him? Okay.
Yep, yeah, which is fantastic and a great callback, but I just think that moment in itself is
It's a
so
great
perfect.
setup and payoff.
Yeah, like he immediately regrets it, and then you just have that mark. Like he carries that blue mark with him the entire movie, but then, like you said, yeah, he's able to stop the door. I did want to ask you, Robert, if that actually would be the case, and what kind of metal could actually withstand that sort of strain.
I don't think it would gold would.
Yeah.
Gold is soft and bends, so I think he'd lose a finger, but
Yeah, need to be adamantium.
I'll let it go.
Well, I mean, like, do you think it was a fake wedding ring that actually was just, stronger than gold?
I mean, for all I know, since she designed the base there, maybe they said we'll make it out of some of the material that we made the base out of
Hmm.
to represent the strength of our love.
Oh, all right. That's pretty clever.
Or maybe Cameron didn't think that through that far, but I feel that makes a certain bunch of symbolic sense.
Hmm. No, it's a great image, and yeah, like you said,
Hmm.
great payoff to that. The other movie, at least early on, that I felt Cameron was getting a lot of inspiration from is 2001,
Well,
and
yeah, but
And there's more of that in the special edition.
yeah, I'm
okay,
assuming that's more special edition stuff. But
Yeah.
okay.
see, I think that's where it's kind of messy because I don't think it really works to have like an alien type story mixed with drama of remarriage or whatever you want to call it, like that,
Yeah,
you
and
know.
then you have the paranoid thriller.
Hmm.
Well, then you have like the sort of, I guess you could call it, for lack of a better term, like a metaphysical sci-fi, which is kind of how I see
Hmm.
2001. Like for me, 2001 is about, the different acts and the overall story of humanity. And even 2010, it's not as wide spanning in terms of like, the birth of humanity to Dave becoming Star Child, but it's more like cosmic. Yeah, I don't know. Like that's where I do find it a bit messy. Like I feel like he's telling such a good story about this like couple, and then it's you're kind of always like in the back of your mind, like, well, there's aliens here. Like,
Hmm.
why are we not looking more at these aliens, or why aren't we doing more stuff with the aliens in the movie? Like, it seems like just kind of a weird, and I don't think it's bad, but it's not executed perfectly. And I'm assuming like in the special edition, like what are the aliens? Like I would assume, and without seeing the special edition, I would assume because you see it in this. There's a part in the end in this where they put up his message to her on the screen, right? And they show him
Right.
it, right?
Hmm.
I'm assuming that's a bigger thing, or there's a reason for them putting that up, right?
There's more of that in the special edition, yes.
Yeah. So the aliens are saying what to him? Like we sort of didn't destroy Earth because you guys inspired us or something?
Something like that, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You can still love, so maybe you're worthy of keeping around.
Yeah. Which is kind of like a biblical
Hmm.
uh thing a bit too.
Oh, I should add, I like the scene where he pulls out the chemical light stick and it glows green and you can't tell what color the wires
Oh
are.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I also did want to ask you about that. Like, how dumb would one have to be to design something that likely would be seen underwater in depths that wouldn't be able to be have those colors distinguished?
Well, I would just say, what you want to at least have the white chemical light stick, but like you apparently have, or another flare.
Would that make that much of a difference?
Apparently.
Oh.
I mean, I played around with the green ones uh, for fun. We used to, pull out the chemical light sticks and I'll play at night with it.
Hmm. But I
But
mean, like
when,
at that depth, would the human eye even be able to like register certain colors?
No
that's a
way,
good question.
man.
That's a good question, and especially through that kind of colored liquid that he's looking through.
Hmm. Yeah, that's true. I didn't even think of that. That his view is already
Yeah,
gonna
he's
be
probably
obscured.
like he can't see shit down there. He's
Yeah. Like, why not just write something on the wire that says, cut this one in the event of emergency?
Well, I mean, warriors they assembled it, but I mean, probably not for it to be disarmed known in the military.
But isn't the idea like for a nuclear weapon supposed to be like this has got to be really easy to disarm and really difficult to actually set off?
Yeah, you
no,
would
that
think
no,
so,
no, no, no,
but
no, 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 no. The people who make them, they want it to be difficult
I don't believe that. Robert, what's going
because
on with your community?
no, no, no,
that's
because you
above
have to
my
really
pay grade.
think before
No,
you
that's
set it
what every
off.
scientist says, just shifting the blame.
They want to make it difficult, so we say, do I really want to set off this nuke?
Yeah,
Yes
I
or
kind of
no?
believe that if you cut it anywhere, it'll won't blow up. But what do I know?
Well, you are a scientist.
What do you know? Yeah, Robert. What do you know?
What are you telling us? I think is the real question.
But yeah, I kind of feel like that's creating some drama. It didn't have to be there. He could have just done it and then looked at his uh, oxygen level and been had the same thing. But you have to have that extra beat in there.
Mhm.
That does strike me as a Spielberg thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know why if I have a whole lot other than I like that they have various different submarines and you can kind of tell what they do
Mhm.
without an explanation just by looking at them. Yeah, the one they has is a big one for doing important difficult things. It has a lot of power to it. And the other ones are just more for just tooling around or going to look at things.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
One plot point I'm not crazy about, but obviously it's the whole premise of the film. I don't think just because someone designed something, they could muscle their way into a military operation.
You wouldn't think so.
Yeah.
And I kind of wonder that the crane doesn't have a disconnect up at top. It
Yeah,
just
well,
has it
yeah,
on the.
yeah. Can you imagine that? Like, hey, I found out someone's doing this with the thing I designed. I better get on there and tell them what to do. Like, no. Like, we don't care if you designed it. We paid for your work. Now
Mhm.
go away. But yeah, obviously there'd be no movie then. Um,
Yes. I do like when she gets on the ship, she immediately starts adjusting valves.
Is that what you do generally? If you're sh
No comment.
oh, is this based on you, Robert? Which are you?
I mean,
Are,
I will adjust valves when I'm on site just to make sure that like no, it's supposed to be here and there's a reason for it.
mhm.
I mean, I usually I'll have them have at a certain level for a reason, but yeah, valves get adjusted.
Have you ever shouted at anyone for a misaligned valve?
I won't say shouted, but I might have asked, why is it sitting there?
And what was the best response that you've ever had to that question?
I've never had a good response to that question.
Okay, what's the worst response you've ever had to that
I
question?
don't know. It's the worst response.
Then why are you adjusting the valve?
Well, I know where the valve's supposed to be set.
Well, do you? Because
When
you.
I asked why is it sit somewhere where it's not supposed to be, there again, I don't know.
Okay. So it's just generally I
That's the
don't
worst
know.
response.
Okay.
so
They're
they,
like,
so you ask them a question, why is this valve set like this? And they say, I don't know. And then what do you do?
I adjust it to where it's supposed to be set.
And then
do
do
you
you
like
like,
write a report?
and
Do you
then, yeah,
knock
like, do
on
you
them
write them
or?
up or something?
Usually it's not that big a deal, but it occurs to me. It usually gets referred up the ladder.
Okay, so you're tattling on these people.
Robert, what is the closest you've ever come to your work mirroring the abyss?
Well, I've never been underwater, though I have been in confined space.
When
So
was
I guess
this?
that's it. Right. I mean, I've been in like underground vaults
Mm-hmm.
with where you had to monitor the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
So that's about as close as I've ever been. But usually we're ventilating and whatever, so it always checks out before I go in there.
Have you ever been in a situation where like you were overseeing something and then Sarah comes in and starts chewing you out for, well, actually we see this situation every time we record, but in a professional setting, Sarah shows up on the job and chews you out.
Not in a professional setting.
Okay. What about an ex-lover
That's what
in
we
a
don't work
professional
together
setting?
for a reason.
Okay. Do you feel that your relationship is like an ideal James Cameron relationship?
I let her do all the talking. I don't say much of anything.
Okay.
Is that what you're getting at?
Have you, well, actually, no, I just want to see if you've ever reached into a porta potty to retrieve your wedding ring.
No, I have not. It never
Okay.
ended up in a porta potty.
Okay.
That's good.
What about a regular potty?
No, never the regular potty either.
Okay.
I've never had stained hands because I had to retrieve something from there.
Okay. Have you made others retrieve it for you?
There's never been anything to retrieve.
I don't know why this has
Once
just
it
become an
hits the full water,
interrogation
it's
for
gone,
Robert.
as far as I'm concerned.
Okay. Fair enough.
Here's an idea for a Abyss-like movie. Instead of underwater oil rig, a mining company. You have the working class.
Mhm.
You're in
Mhm.
confined spaces.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
You uncover. Well, how's this gonna work actually? Uh,
Are we talking like Great Escape style thing or like Armageddon? More like Armageddon.
Are we
More like-
talking like
I'm talking more like
My Bloody Valentine? Or are we talking
Zoolander?
the Boogans?
well, I
The
guess
Descent.
Zoolander, but like I'm more talking like you have a crew down below.
Mhm.
They discover some aliens,
Mm.
and then you see what I mean?
Journey to
Nice.
the
Like
center of the
it's
earth.
like the abyss, yeah.
Okay. I'm sure there is like a very obvious movie that we're forgetting and not mentioning, but I can't think of it.
Me neither. That's why I thought of it now. I thought it would be a good abyss ripoff.
Yeah. What would you call it?
You could
There's
call
been
it the
plenty of them.
Shaft, or you could call it like
Deep Star 6?
you
The-
could call it
The Dry
Lords
Abyss?
of the Deep?
Yeah.
Leviathan?
you could call any of those
Why would
names.
you call it
Leviathan.
Leviathan? Just rip off Leviathan and the Abyss.
I feel like Leviathan, though, like that does kind of limit you to just being in the water.
Yeah, exactly.
The Shaft just sounds good, and not to be confused with
The
Shaft.
Descent. Just call it the Descent.
Yep.
That doesn't limit you.
Yeah. The Redescent, or the
Although
Descent, but
isn't
not
like
that
Day
one.
of the Dead like they're kind of below ground in like a mine shaft type area, right?
They're in like an underground bunker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is kind of connected to a mine shaft, isn't it? Because like
There's like bats in there, isn't it? They use
Well-
get up.
there's also like the undeveloped part of it too.
Right.
Yeah. I love that movie so much.
I like that movie a lot too.
Yeah. It's my favorite George Romero film.
Really?
Oh, it's one of my favorite films of all time. Yeah.
So you like that more than Night of the Living and Dawn of the?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I
Wow.
like those ones a lot too, but I like Day of the Dead is my favorite.
Okay.
Big time. Cool. Well, ready for my pick, guys?
I am.
Yeah, I'm done. I don't think I have anything more to add. So take it away, Cody.
Okay, now just let me be clear. If this is too new of a film or it's too popular, just let me know.
Is it underwater?
No, it's not underwater.
Oh.
But just let me know because I don't have access to the list anymore. I forgot. I know pretty much what's on the list. Like no Blade
If it's
Runner.
after 2014, it's fair game because it's not been ruled out.
Okay, good. Well, it's not. Sunshine.
Okay,
I've been thinking about Sunshine.
that's a good choice.
Okay, that's not popular enough, right? Okay, good. Or it's not discussed to death.
It's not discussed to death.
I don't actually hear it discussed that often. I hear it mentioned a lot, but not really that much discussed.
Yeah,
Okay, well,
it's discussed about people like Danny Boyle. But
yeah. Well, I just thought I should mix up some new films.
Yeah,
Newer, I should say. It's kind of old now.
I'm looking forward to it. So
same here.
um,
Cool.
it's it's been on the list of things to watch. But I haven't seen it. So if you have questions or comments, you can email us at skyespodcast@gmail.com or leave us a note on Facebook. Also, feel free to share a link on social media. Thanks for listening. We hope you'll join us next month for Danny Boyle's Sunshine. Bye.
Take care.
Mass. Oh, bye.
Bobbing up and down, he belongs to Uncle Sam, but he's always on my mind. 'Cause take a tip from me. You know how I feel with my man at sea. I've got the blues for the deep blue sea. Nothing but a tear can satisfy me. No automobile can change my mind. I feel like getting on aeroplane and fly. When I hear that whistle blow, I know the ship is safe ashore. Ain't but one man in this world that can satisfy me. That's the man that leaves rocking on the deep sea. I mean the deep blue When I hear that whistle blow, I know the ship and the shore. Ain't but one man in this world that can satisfy me. That's the man